When I grew up, there was a lot of bad days. There was probably more bad days than there was good days. And I just grew up right over here in Worcester. I'm a Worcester boy through and through. I had a lot more bad days than I had good days. I had a lot more bad days than I had good days, and I didn't know cereal would get me on the news. I had no idea. I had no idea looking forward that I would get to play football with NFL players, or play at a D1 college, or do anything good. I had no idea. I had no hope. And a lot of the times, I was so knee deep into my feelings, I didn't even look up. I didn't even want to get up. I was depressed. Has anybody in this room ever been depressed? Has anybody in this room ever been sad? Has anybody in this room ever cried? There's some people I have not listened. Well, when you're depressed, when you're sad, when you want to cry, just imagine that being like every single day. And imagine going to school and feeling that way every single day no matter what, and you really can't do anything about it because that weight of the world's on your shoulders. That's how I felt when I transitioned into middle school. Because some people just don't transition well. Some people will walk in this room day one with their chest all puffed out, and they're rolling the roots. They're the king, they're the queen. Right now, today. And some people are just cowering down and they're trying to figure all this out. They don't even have a group of friends. They're the kid that nobody really sits with. I was that kid. And it was a culture shock to me. I didn't deal with it well here because I didn't have anything happy at home to go back to. I didn't have a foundation. I didn't have two parents that loved me and cared about me and did everything they could for me and provided for me. I had just had my mom, and she was sad and depressed too. I just had her. My dad never really was a true thing, and whenever he came back around, it was nothing but pain. So, cereal, comfort, food, comfort, Oreos, comfort. I became a big boy. Like, I ate myself. I was almost 400 pounds. When I was 15 years old, I was almost 400 pounds, and I hated myself. I hated looking myself in the mirror wearing 4 extra large clothes. That's crazy. And in the midst of that, I'm depressed. I'm suicidal. I tried to kill myself. Did any of my friends know that? Nope. Not at all. Because sometimes your friends, maybe the people sitting next to you right now, they're going through something that you have no idea about. And they are your best friend. Maybe they really want to just end it all. And that's real stuff. And that's real stuff. When's the last time, that you don't got to respond to this. When's the last time you asked your friend, are you having a good day? What did you eat for dinner last night? And some people I didn't ask them right now. But sometimes it just takes that little question. Sometimes it just takes that little question to brighten somebody's day up and make sure that they realize that they matter. Because someone like me, I didn't have very many people asking me those things. In fact, I can't remember one kid that was supposedly my friend that asked me, are you doing good today? What did you have for dinner last night? What's your favorite show? Nobody cared. Now, if that should be a bet, you might know all those things. You might know all those things. But when's the last time you actually went out of your comfort zone and practiced intentionality and actually asked them things with intent, like because you care? Something that you can do to make today great, this year great, everything that you do a little bit better. Just with everything that surrounds you, all the kids that surround you, all your friends, all your teachers, is care a little bit, at least a little bit. Because that little bit grows into so much more. Asking how they are. Actually finding out about something in somebody's lives that you might not know. that you might overlook. Some kid in here today just needs to know that they matter. And you coming up to them, you sitting with them at lunch, you talking to them after school, before school, that can mean the world to them. No names, because no names are needed, but I know a kid that never really happened to him, and he had a rough home life, and he had a dad that was in and out of prison, abusive, drunk dad. He came home from prison. This little kid, 7th grader, didn't really have many friends, kind of a loner, had a few friends, but not a lot of friends, always picked on though. That kid ended his life, and that was 15 minutes away from here. This is like within the past year. That was 15 minutes away from here. Well, if you drive fast like me, probably 25 minutes away from here. And that's real stuff. And you know why that happens? Because when you feel so sad and you feel so alone and you don't have this awesome group of kids and these teachers that really love and care about you and actually express it, things like that happen. So you want this year to be amazing? Go outside of yourself and make friends with somebody that you normally wouldn't. You see somebody picking on somebody else, go defend them. I cannot tell you, and I'm not advocating violence at all, but I cannot tell you how many times I defended people growing up because I saw people getting picked on. And I was somebody getting picked on, and I was still a defender. Now, I became picked on so much that I became the bully in high school. I became picked on so much because I got taken away from my mom when I was 15 years old. Try having the cops knock down your door and say, hey, Marsha, that's my mom's name, you no longer have custody of your kid. We're taking him away. Have no idea where I'm going. Pack your bags, keep, we're going. I didn't have time to do anything but cry. So I took like 2 shirts in my backpack, gone. And I was gone from my mom from sophomore, junior, and my senior year. Y'all are like going over to each other's house and playing and going to the movies. And I don't know, Worcester Skate Land's still a cool thing, but it was way back in the day. I didn't get to experience any of that stuff in high school because I was custody of the state. They took me to jail. And that's just because I wasn't going to school. I thought I was a nice kid. I thought I was a good kid, but they still took me to jail because I was truant, because I wasn't going to school. And why wasn't I going to school? Because every single time I would end the day in tears. I wouldn't even make it through the whole day. Like, it hurts me to even talk about it right now. But that's real stuff. And they took me away from my mom for 3 years, and I didn't get back to her until I graduated high school. Now, when I graduated high school, in the midst of all that craziness, I developed this mentality of no matter what, and that is something that can help you tremendously today and through this entire year. Because sometimes it's as simple as passing a test, and sometimes the test makes sense. No matter what, I'm going to learn this material. No matter what, I'm going to overcome this. No matter what, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get that passing grade so I can get to that next step. Because sometimes, obviously, middle school isn't where it ends for you. You have the next step, you got to get to high school. Some of y'all are going to go to college. Some of you won't. That's totally fine. But you have to get through these times in order to get to wherever the heck you're going. And I developed this mentality of no matter what. If you ever see me on social media, I have a #NNW, just in case you were wondering. That's what it means. Because it's a reminder to myself. It's a daily reminder. I wear shirts like this as a daily reminder of happier times in my life. Because I used to sit in front of my mom's big RCA swivel TV, wow, and in my underwear, my Power Ranger shirt, and eat some cereal, and that was happy times. That was my escape, that was my moment. And we have to find our escape. We have to find our moment. Right now, my happy times, my escape is I play video games. Who in this room plays video games? Good stuff. Who in this room plays Madden? On Xbox specifically. We need to play. We need to play. But right now, video games and working out is my happy place. He said, like I said before, I was almost 400 pounds. I was a beach whale bull. It was horrible. Like, I didn't just eat one cookie, I ate the whole package, and then I went back for another. I didn't drink just one can of pop. I drank the whole 24 pack. Like, it was, I smashed some food, I still can. But that was what brought me comfort. See, now, I've kind of turned that into something positive and made review videos that are hopefully entertaining and somewhat informing. But I've turned that thing that I was using to bottle up all the guff in my life, and have turned it into something good. So one thing that y'all can do to make this day great, make your year great, is to find your happy place. Find your happy thing, your escape, so to speak. Like I said, mine is video games, mine is the gym. Something that gives you that release. And I'm not talking about drugs or alcohol, because guess what? There's a lie that'll come into your brain, and they'll be like, drugs are good, and all these little, nowadays there's pills and there's all sorts of stuff. Back in the day, it was just like, I swear it was a lot more simple. But I got into drugs when I got out of high school, when I got back with my mom, because I didn't have the gym yet. I didn't have video games yet. In fact, what happened, as soon as I got back with my mom when I was 18 years old, just graduated high school, I became homeless. Raise your hand if you've ever been homeless. Yeah. Okay, we got some people that can relate. I was homeless. I literally did not have a house to call my own. In fact, there were nights I slept under or even on top of. There was a random bush, I was really comfortable. But I ended up staying with friends, staying with people, and I stayed with the wrong people, stayed with the wrong crowd. Like, I stayed with people that did drugs, that did party, that did all these things that I had never done before in my life. And I had a job, but I was spending all my money on that stuff. Spending all my money on that stuff. Wasn't making good choices. Wasn't being intentional about where I wanted my life to go, because I was making the wrong choices continually. Now eventually I got with the right people, I got with the right group of friends, I got with the right way of life, and all that stuff was behind me, and I never looked back. Thank you, God, literally. But that was my escape. Drugs and alcohol was my escape, and I had never, ever did anything like that. I swore to myself that I would never do it, and I did. Because I didn't have anything as positive as cereal. I didn't have video games. I didn't have a house. I didn't have any of that. When I finally got a house, when I finally got away from those people and got myself out of that situation, you see, sometimes we don't think that we have a choice, and we do. Even when things are hard, we have a choice. Even when times are like really just like you have no hope. Like, you're down 28 points in the fourth quarter, and you have no hope. But somehow you come back and you win by a point. Somehow. That's the kind of hope you gotta cling to move forward. That's that no matter what mentality that I've garnered over the years. Because I feel like I've always been an underdog. You know how Baker Mayfield, for example, he always has a chip on his shoulder. Even though he was a Heisman Trophy winner, he was a walk-on to 2 different D1 colleges. He forever has a no matter what mentality because he was always overlooked. Even the Browns right now, as stacked as, I'm not a Browns fan, but we're in Northeast Ohio. Even as the Browns right now, stacked as they are, and as good as they should be, they're still being overlooked, and people don't know that they just don't know. And obviously Baker Mayfield got that chip on his shoulder, he got that no matter what mentality, and he's going to be successful. That is somebody that forever breathes success because they continually move forward. So what can you do today to move forward? You can be nice to your friends. You cannot give your parents a hard time when they ask you to do a chore. You cannot talk back to your teacher when all they're trying to do is do the job because they have a family to go home to. And guess what? Your teachers have a crazy life too sometimes. And your teachers got kids just like y'all. And your teachers got to go to yourself too. A little bit of grace, a little bit of empathy goes a long way. Basically, realizing that other people got some real stuff and that you are not the king of the world. You're not the queen of the world. Sometimes life throws you curveballs and you got to go with it. Today, just getting here, for one, I didn't realize, this is on my own choices. I forgot that going through Worcester at around 11 o'clock is basically impossible. And normally it takes me about 15 minutes to drive here. It took me about 45 minutes today because traffic was at a standstill. But that's my own choice. That's what I did. That's what I did today. That was fun. And before that, I couldn't find the little piece so that I could attach my camera to the tripod. I was going through my house like crazy and I couldn't find it. You know what else I did? I didn't dry my clothes. I washed my clothes, I put them in the dryer, I didn't dry them. And then when I opened it up, had a moment. Had a big time moment. And it's silly, it's small, but I'm telling you, sometimes life throws you curveballs. And guess what's going to happen in school? You're going to get a curveball. But it's not always a curveball, and it's not always everybody else's fault. Sometimes you got to point the finger right back at you because you're like, oh crap, I got a test today. Well, you knew about that beforehand, whether your teacher gave you a syllabus or what do you think you've been studying for? What do you think you've been doing homework for this whole time? Sometimes life throws you curveballs, but it's really not a curveball. It's something that you could have prevented if you would have made a different choice otherwise. Maybe that's what happened when me and my mom got evicted and we became homeless. I was just a kid, I don't know. But sometimes our choices or our lack of choices affects our lives in a drastic way. And sometimes our choices or lack of choices affect our friends' lives in a drastic way. Like imagine in football, I'm a football coach, so I'm going to keep using football analogies. It's just a thing. Imagine in football if your line doesn't block for you. Like if just one dude doesn't allow, or one dude doesn't block Andrew Beery. His big self's going to come and just wreak havoc on that quarterback. And it's just like that. It's just a brain lapse. It's just a brain fart. Intentionality, patience, y'all. Patience. Take time to actually breathe. Take time to think when you're in your happy place doing cereal, video games, running, drawing, whatever it is. Take that time to reflect on your day. Take that time to reflect on your day and to think, how can I be better? How can I overcome what is bothering me? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? It's kind of like going into the gym. If you go into the gym, and y'all might not know this because you're young, maybe somebody does. But if you go into the gym and you just randomly doing a bunch of exercises, I mean, are you going to get some progress? Sure. But if you go into a gym and you have a plan, you're going to get results. And that's the difference that you can make in every day of your life. When you're studying, if you're just randomly reading random sentences, what are you actually going to learn? Not much. You might know and grow a few more words in your vocabulary, but you're not going to learn much. But when you're intentional about things, folks, when you're intentional about what you're doing in the gym, when you're intentional about what you're doing in school, with whatever your sport is, with your friends, with your parents, with your teachers, things become different. Things become different despite what's going on, despite anything going on around you. So you've gone up to your friend, you're like, hey, how you doing today? Everything been good? Yeah? What did you eat for dinner last night? Did you eat last night? Do you know what food is? Did you eat food last night, though? Okay, good. Are you having a good day at school? Kinda? Okay. How many of that? And that's all it takes. You don't gotta walk away randomly and leave the conversation awkward like I just did. But it only takes that. It only takes that. Do that with your teachers, and I bet you it's going to bring a smile to their face. Do that with your coaches, not in the midst of when they're coaching because you're going to irritate them, nobody's business, and they're going to yell at you. But if you do those little things like that, I guarantee you, little baby steps like that will make sure that everything is good. Now, I told you that I wanted to kill myself, and I tried. It wasn't just I wanted to die, and I know that's real drastic, and I don't want to keep bringing that be the focus, but I really did. I really did. And it's such a deep, dark place. It's such a lonely place that only people that can care about you can bring you up out of it. Like, I coached football at Rittman. I did coach baseball here for 1 year, but I coached football at Rittman, and there's kids that don't even have shoes. Didn't have shoes, but got them shoes. There's kids that came into the football year that didn't even have like legitimate shoes, let alone cleats. And they were wearing the same clothes every single day. Like, some people would look at that like, can you even imagine not having clean clothes to wear, not having shoes? And I'm thinking, yeah, that was me. That was me. We had about 20 cats. I had about 2 shirts, and I had a cabinet full of cupcakes, cereals, and cookies. And that was my life. It was real weird. It's real weird when you really think about it. But that's kind of the stuff that are people that you're friends with, that you're eating lunch with, they go through. And you might be sitting here thinking, well, no. You're not just going to go through life and everything's not going to always be easy. You're not going to go through life and everything's always going to be hard either. You know why I didn't end it? You know why? Because my mom walked in the room. My mom walked in the room and I looked into her eyes and I saw undenying love that I had never seen in another human being before. Like she was petrified at the thing that was around my neck. It was about to go down. When you know somebody loves you, when you see a hope and a future in front of your eyes that affects your heart, gosh, microphone. When you see that, it changes you. When I saw my reflection, and I really saw my reflection when I was this beach whale of a boy, I knew that I had to change. I knew that I had to work out and I had to make better choices eating. I knew that I couldn't just smash on 2 boxes of cereal, go for some cookies, and then eat the rest of my day away. I knew that I couldn't do that anymore because I was going to die. At some point or another, and I literally just made a video about this, you have to put your foot down and say enough is enough. Enough is enough for my own slacking. Enough is enough for whatever situation that I'm in right now. I might be a good football player, but I want to be a great one. I might be a pretty decent volleyball player, but I want to be freaking phenomenal. I might be good at math, but I want to be great at it because I want to go to college and I want to be an engineer. That might be your thought process, but you're not going to get there until you literally push everything aside and every single day make good choices towards your goal. What's that?
Dairy Bell.
I don't know if that was like my time thing. Shut up. Making good choices towards your goal. Whether your goal for that day is to just pass your quiz, or whether that day is to just hit whoever the running back is as hard as you possibly can in football practice, or whether it is to not eat your day away and only eat 1 box of cereal instead of 2. Sometimes you gotta start small like that. Sometimes, yeah. Make goals. One thing that I do that I've done for a long time is I have a board in my office. Now my office has cereal boxes all over the walls. But my office also has a board and I write down my goals. I write down the things that I want to do. I write down the video ideas that I have in my mind and the places that I want to be. I pray about these things every single day because I want them to happen. And then I just don't sit there and wish and hope and just sit on my butt. I go and make them happen. One thing that you can do today to be great and to continually have a great, awesome year, write down your goals. Tell people about them. Be proud about them. But go and make them happen. Talking ain't going to do anything unless your feet are moving forward towards it as well. And that's one thing I've learned more than anything. Your words mean nothing if your actions don't back it up. It's kind of like that dude or that chick that talks all this stuff, and then when somebody actually steps to them, they get slapped because they're really not about that life, because they're just all mouth. There's a lot of people that do that. They just talk. But one way we can reverse that is be intentional with our actions and actually put actions toward what we do and make it happen. It's really that simple. It's hard, but it's a simple process. It's hard going through it, but it's a simple planning process. You just got to keep moving forward. Now, I have a plan, I have a process, and my YouTube channel originally was all fitness. Because fitness is a big part of my life. I lost 150 pounds. I can deadlift 635 pounds. I can squat almost 600 pounds. I can bench 400 pounds. That didn't happen overnight. That happened because I put some hard work into it. And that was my YouTube channel. But guess what? That YouTube channel was not, it just wasn't where I wanted it to be. Fitness was a small little aspect of my life. So I started incorporating like vlogging and doing all these other things. I coach football on the high school and the amateur level, so I'm showing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I show a cereal video, actually Sour Patch Kids cereal, and all of a sudden everybody loves it and it blows the heck up. That Sour Patch Kids cereal video gets me on the news. That gets me in the newspaper, in multiple newspapers. That gets me in Food Network magazine. That's getting me on ESPN radio soon. Look out for it. But it's crazy how sometimes we think that we have it all figured out and we have this plan and we're going to be this big YouTube star in fitness, and we take this detour, and that detour actually develops our passions and opens up so many other doors. What I want you to get from that is, don't close the box of your mind. Don't keep yourself in a box. I went to school to be a youth pastor. I'm not a youth pastor. But I do affect and am around and encourage and motivate and teach and lead kids every single day. So in a sense, I still am. I'm just not in a church. The greatest advice that I ever received literally was somebody speaking into my life and saying, Keith, you can be the best youth pastor in the whole wide world, but realize that there can be more for you because you have a limitless amount of potential and there's nothing that can stop you. No one ever said anything like that to me, but it's true. There's nothing that can stop you. The only thing that stops you is you and your own choices and your own actions. So I took that detour from just fitness, just like I would take that detour from being a youth pastor to fitness, and now it's onward to the rest of the world, baby girl. Like, it's awesome. And maybe this is just for a season, but for right now, I love every single thing that I do. And when you're taking those steps on that journey, when you're trying to find out who you are, because middle school is one of those times you're really trying to figure out who the heck you are, you'll figure it out too. Just don't ever stop moving your feet. I have a kid, oh my gosh, he will not, I wish he would just move his feet. He could be so great, and he will be, there is no put up. He will be, but it's like it doesn't translate from his hands all the way down to his feet. But when he gets it, it's going to be the best moment of victory I've ever seen. That I've ever seen. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of like a process, like that little buffering circle. You know, when you're in there trying to kick in, you're like, come on, man. It just takes time. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your friends, be patient with your teachers, and have fun no matter what you're doing. That's my true message for you today.